Hey there, it's Boots Owen here. This is a Zanussi tumble dryer, regular tumble dryer, in that it's not a condenser. It's a ZDE 47100W. I've got it set to synthetics, and let's turn it on. And you can hear straight away it makes this tugga 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 noise. So let's turn it off. It seems to be coming from around the back. Let's plug it out or switch it off at the mains as well while we're doing work on it. Round on the back, it seems to be coming from somewhere in here. And this is the bearing unit, so 3 screws should let me get them in here. 1 screw on the top holds this little plastic thing. You've got 2 more screws, and while I'm at it I might take off this circlip first as well here. So to get that off, I'm going to try and just jimmy it off between a screwdriver and a pliers. I'm holding it in place with a screwdriver, and I'm just going to snap it with the pliers. Oh, it's back on again. There it is, and that's what it looks like. Little E-clip, and there's a little washer here I can see. It's pretty thin, it looks like spring steel or something like that. And it's all got black dust on it, everything we're dealing with. And this is just a crosshead screwdriver here. It's 1 screw, they're all self-tappers as well. And then let's try and pull off this bearing. Get my pliers onto that little hook at the bottom. Pull that off, and just looking at it, there appears to be some black. Just looking at it inside, hard to see. Half of it appears to have some kind of, you can see that line there in the middle. Yeah, there, that's better. You can see there's a bit of like a brass looking, a copper looking side and dirty looking side. So I wonder if just cleaning this would make it run smoother. So that's what I'm gonna do. So I've got some spray lubricant, penetrating oil. I'll just put that on a cloth, on a rag, and give it a wipe. So this shaft here appears to be steel, and this mightn't fix it at all. I'm just going to give it a go. This is my approach to fixing stuff, is just to get stuck in. So it feels nice and smooth. Get rid of all the black that was on it, give that just a bit of a tidy up there as well. And then the same with this bearing. Let's spray oil on that. The clean side of this, but that one that has the oil on it. Put that through. And I'd say this just, it could be that it's meant to be dry, this bearing, or it could be that it's like a oil impregnated bearing. So I can't see that it's meant to run dry really. So I think there should be a drop of oil on it. So I've cleaned that off inside there. Let's see. I don't know if it's bronze or copper or what. You can still see the pattern, but it's much cleaner. So let's put it back together. Let's put a drop of oil, real oil on it. Whoops, there we go. I really would only need a drop or 2, so that's all it's going to get. I've wasted more than I'll put it on. And the bearing, the part number on this is 0904819. If that helps you out. I just have to lift this up because the whole of the drum is bearing on this, on the inside. Let's get a screw in there. Give this washer a clean. And this clip. Snap it back on, and then let's cover up the top again. You can see that black smut in there. Give that a wipe out. I have no idea if this is going to work, but let's switch it on again. Switch it on, ready to go. Well, that's obviously not the answer. I don't know what would be making that noise then. I'd say there's a roller underneath that might be doing it, but at least I know it's not the bearing on the back. But it's the first step in fault finding. That's what you do, just chip away at it. It wasn't the bearing on the back, so I took the side panel off the tumble dryer, and to do that I took the top off, which involved taking 2 screws out at the top, then pulling it backwards I think. And then to get this bit off, you have to take off 1 screw from the inside here. It goes through that hole. A number of screws along the back that you could see. Then underneath this little plastic cover, which covers this hole, there was 1 screw there. And then there was this little tab thing, little clip, that was in there as well. You pull that out and then the side falls off, or well, you pull it off. And inside it's a bit dusty, but not too bad really. before I do anything with it, I'll give it a wash out with a vacuum cleaner. I got in and I had a look, and straight away I can see that this thing here, this pulley, looks pretty knackered. You can see it's just there kind of going wonky. So you know that'll be your problem. So what I'll do is I'll release this tension spring. It's all pretty dusty, I'd rather vacuum it out first. Release this tension spring, release this. Yeah, take off, there's an E-clip on the end, and then we'll have a look at that. There is the belt. It doesn't look great because it's been under a bit of stress, but I'm not going to fuss about that for now. There's also a set of rollers on the front here, but they're very soft, and that one feels okay. I might get into to see the other one. And so here's the pulley. It was on in that direction on the shaft, so that was the good bit. There's a bit of a metal bush in there, and then on this side it's just completely worn into a big cone. You can see on the face of the pulley there's like bits of plastic polished off and ground off by the belt getting stuck and this thing slipping, so really it needs a new belt and pulley. I think it's worth it on this machine. The other thing is the shaft has a bit of wear on it, but I think if you put a new bushing in there to be okay. The other thing I wonder is could I rebush this one, but I'm not sure that you could really. I'm a bit frustrated because I had a motor similar to this with a pulley on it that went into the scrap a few weeks ago, and that would have maybe sufficed, but well, it's gone, and that's that. There's a lot of dirt in here. I think this one has the feature that you can let the dust out or the exhaust out the middle of the back or either side, which is kind of handy. You can see the passages in there, they're pretty filthy, so that's something that really should be cleaned out once in a while, and the same with all of this fluff on it. You know, it's not something any homeowner's ever going to do, but I reckon it's a good idea. It's well, I say any homeowner, I do it on my own Bosch machine, but there you go. What I'll do is I'll take a look on the internet and see if there's a replacement part for this and see what it costs. So it's a few days later and I've ordered a new pulley, and here it is. The old one, the bush was completely worn away, and that crest on the pulley is kind of worn off as well. I also got a new belt, which is a 1975 PH, so it's a 7-ribbed V belt, quite a fine profile. 1975 means it's about 2 meters long, and I've got to figure out how to get the old one off to get this one in. My suspicion is that there's some easy way of doing it, but I don't know what that is. I'm feeling it's simpler than I think, but I haven't looked at any videos on how to do it. So what I think I might do is take these screws here out and take the other side panel off and let the back fall backwards, and then just slide it off over the front of the drum. So if that works, it works, and we'll see if it does. Yeah, that might be enough. That's it. This may or may not be the correct way to do it. I have no idea. Now getting this back on will be more interesting. So I've got the door open to help my hand on it. So I've got the back loose, so the drum is attached to the back bearing on the back. That creates this gap here, and it's just enough, you can see, to feed the belt around, and that's what I'm doing. So I think it'll be best to watch it from above. All of these edges here are very sharp metal, so you got to watch yourself on those. It looks like this is going to work. Maybe. Maybe. Is that right? I'm just caught on that roller. That's that one. That's that roller. Where we caught on? It's caught on a roller there. That's it. Seems to be all we needed to do. So let's screw it back together again. So then next up is to get the pulley on here. And the way it was before, it was this way around. So that's, well, it's kind of the same thing, isn't it? This little fiber washer is completely missing on this one, but I'm guessing it goes Oh, there it is actually. It's the old fiber washer. So let's take that off. That should have been there. So that helps. Let's put it on like that. Then there's another little fiber washer that came off. And finally the circlip, or an E-clip actually. It goes on there. So I think this is right. We've got it going from the drum down underneath the motor shaft, over the pulley and on. So I'll put this tension spring back on again. Okay, it looks good, so what I'm going to do is test it with the side off. Okay, so I've turned it on. Got it set to synthetics again. Let's just press play or start. There you go. That's it. Looks to be working. Let's not touch the insides while the outside's running off. Let's just see what we can see. Yeah, it looks pretty good. So it's looking good. What I'm going to do is turn it off, plug it out, put the side back on, and we'll listen to it again when it's all closed up. And so while I'm in here, what I'm going to do as well is take off this. While I'm working on it, I'm going to just take a look here into the element and see how it's looking. I'm always particularly wary about these things. Some brands have a reputation for going on fire, and I had a Bosch machine once that had a load of fluff in the element. Some of it had been charred, like, you know, gone on fire, which I don't really think is a good idea, so just want to see how this one's doing. This is a Nusi, which isn't one, I think it was Hot Point or some other brand. I don't know which brand it was. It might have been Hot Point that was big on the flames. It has this plastic shield, which I wonder, is that a heat shield to keep your fingers, if you have it in an environment like a kitchen out in the middle of the room, kids playing. And inside, there's a bit of dust in the bottom. Doesn't look too bad. It's a bit browner maybe. Some dust here, fluff even. Again, it's brown, so it could have been a bit overheated, but it's not bad. It's not, I don't know, would you call that charred? Maybe. There's nothing caught in the element, which is positive, but it receives its air in here from around the drum, which is unfiltered, so it's got all that dust on it. So I'll give that a vacuum out. Just finished vacuuming. I also did the inside here as well, so it's clean all around here. And you can see that this bracket here, the bearing, is just held up by 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 little bits of metal. It's not particularly well held on, but it must be structurally sound, because I guess the bearing will fail before they do. There's a felt washer in there, and I've tried to hoover out as much of the fluff as I can, but I guess you want, the felt is there to make an air seal, to force the air through these cheese grater type holes in the back of the drum. So I don't think fluff in there really matters. It's more fluff in here that could be a bother. Those two little things there are your temperature sensors. Those are the heating elements, and there could be 2 coils for high and low, 2 separate systems. And it's got these little ceramic spacers as well. So I'll just screw that back together and put the lid back on, and then we'll have a listen to it. So I've got the sides all back on, and here's the old belt. The belt I think was fine. Don't really see any issue with that. And there's the pulley, and it was damaged. This repair cost £13.94p. I got the 2 parts on big internet auction site. This one on its own would have been, I think, 7 or 8 quid, and I thought, while I'm at it, the old belt probably fine, but you know, that rubber's not great and it's going to get stressed, and the fact that the rubber was pulling over, like the rubber had to wear this out, you know, really had to wear this pulley apart, so I thought it was best to do both of them. So 14 quid, we've got a machine that works. Let's see. Just sounds normal, you know, I don't have to shout to go over it. One last thing in here, this is where the lint filter is on this machine. So you push in that little button and then you open this up and there's fluff in here. And if you don't clean this out after every operation, there's a strong risk your machine will go on fire, and that's something you want to do. There isn't much else maintenance wise to do to this machine. There's the holes in the back where the hot air comes from, and it exhausts out through the filter. Something weird going on there. It must go out through the filter and some of it back into the machine. Otherwise you're just filtering it to before it exhausts, which, you know, is possible. I don't know. Maybe if I open it again I'll have a look and try and figure that one out. Yeah, clean the filter, it's very important. Alright, thanks for watching. See you later.